Self-help is a giant industry. There are thousands of books written on that topic, millions of YouTube videos available, and hundreds of gurus that want to teach you how to live. But if you're new to self-help, you really can get overwhelmed by the amount of information. And it's hard to figure out where to start. So this video right here is a beginner's guide, step by step, what you should be doing when you first get into personal development and self-help. And the reason why I want to make this video for you out there is that when I first got interested in these topics, there really wasn't such a guide available. I read hundreds of books on the topic. I watched countless hours of YouTube material. I went to live events. I followed all those gurus. Some of them fake, some of them actually knowing what they're talking about. So I figured it's gonna be really beneficial for a lot of people out there if I can sort of condense all that knowledge into a 15-minute video. And even though I learned a lot on that journey, I feel like there's a lot of useless or even wrong information out there, and I want to help you avoid that. You really don't have to spend years of trial and error on self-help like I did, but instead you can follow a couple of very simple steps that will get you started. The very first thing that you need to do is identify the problem. If you are interested in self-help, I assume that there is a problem. Otherwise, you wouldn't have that need, that urge to improve something about yourself and your life. But oftentimes it can be really challenging to pinpoint exactly what the problem is. We might feel generally unhappy about how our lives are going, but might not be able to tell exactly what could be improved about it. Or sometimes there might be a problem at hand that you're aware of, but you might not realize that it is connected to a much deeper rooted and underlying issue. So what I want you to do is take a piece of paper, take a pen, take 5 minutes and actually write down everything that sort of bothers you in your life right now. Everything that makes you feel unsatisfied. List out every problem in your life, both big and small, and don't really think too much about whether or not you can do something about it, if the things are correlated or not. Just sort of brainstorm and write down as many points as possible. This is a really good exercise for you to get started on your self-help journey, because we actually need to know what you're talking about when you talk about self-help, just because there are so many different areas that you could be addressing here. It could be that you want to work on your career, it could be that you want to live healthier or lose some weight, it could be that you want to be more disciplined, or maybe you want to improve your interpersonal relationships. So next, I want you to go back to that initial list that you created and try to group the different points into larger categories. That right there will make a pattern emerge, and it will give you a guideline on what part of self-help you should be focusing most on. So if we take a quick look at this example, it becomes obvious that this person should be focusing more on their health. And even though there are other areas in his life that he feels also unsatisfied with, there might even be a spillover effect if he fixes his health first. So by fixing his health first, he might be able to focus longer, be more productive, advance in his career, improve his love life, and then become more confident as a result. So just because you begin by focusing on one area in particular doesn't mean that you won't see great results in other areas of your life as well. Okay, so now we know what the issue is that we're working on, but you might be thinking, well, I know that already. I want to know how to actually take action and go and fix it. Well, the reason why you haven't done that already is that it's really hard to change yourself. We are so stuck in our own ways and we love staying the same. We don't actually want to exert energy to change something about ourselves. In order to get it into our heads that this time we really need to make a change here, we need to be absolutely crystal clear about the negative consequences if we don't make that change. And the way we go about that is that we show ourselves that staying the same in the end will cause more pain than changing right now. This, by the way, is an old technique that I learned from Tony Robbins and his best-selling book, Awaken the Giant Within. So if you first get into self-help, this is a pretty good book to start with. So the second exercise that I want you to do here is to again pull out the piece of paper and a pen and write down all the negative things correlated to not changing that one area of your life that you want to focus on now. If we look at our example again of fixing your health, you can see there's a whole long list of negative outcomes that we will have to face if we don't lose some weight here and start to live a bit healthier. Alright, great. Now you should have two lists, one of them showing you what you should focus on most in terms of self-improvement, and the other one showing you all the bad things that will happen if you don't. So we have clearly identified the problem here. What we need to do now is taking action. And this part, unfortunately, is what most people get wrong and where they get stuck in their self-development journey. If they want to improve their health, for example, they might set a goal like, I want to lose 20 kilos. And they think that somehow magically just creating that goal would lead them to losing those 20 kilos. When in fact setting such a goal won't accomplish anything. What you need to do instead of setting goals is creating systems. Don't think too much about what you want to accomplish, but instead think about what you actually need to change in your life to get there. You need to reflect on your habits and how they either make your life better or possibly make it worse. This is what I mean when I talk about creating systems. You need to have a whole system in place, different habits that support you on your path that you're on and that help you to get closer and closer to your ultimate goal. And if you want to learn more about creating habits, you should definitely check out this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. So to come back here to our example of living healthier, we won't set a goal like I want to lose 20 kilos. Instead, we will focus on creating a system, different habits that will help us eventually get there. And the way you get started with that is that you choose one negative habit to eliminate and one positive habit to incorporate into your life. And don't be too ambitious. Instead, start very easy with something that you actually know you can accomplish. So the negative habit that we want to eliminate to improve our health could be no more soda. You're not gonna drink soda, you're not gonna buy soda, you're gonna cut it out of your life. And then the positive habit that you could incorporate is going for a walk for half an hour every day. And that's all you're gonna focus on. Not buying soda and going for a walk every single day at a very specific time. For example, right after you come home from work. Just keep focusing on this one negative habit and this one positive habit for about 2 months, because this is how long it takes to form a new habit and to actually stick with it and make it automized. At the beginning it might be hard, but after 2 months those habits have fully formed, which means that you don't need to exert any more willpower to follow through with them. And if you're interested in learning more about the psychology behind forming habits, then make sure to check out this book, The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. One final tip that I have for you for sticking with those habits is utilizing the list of negative things that you have created before. One way you could be doing that is that you stick it right on your front door. So when you come home after work and you're tired and you don't really want to go out anymore for a 30-minute walk, you will see that list. It will be right in front of you and you will see all the different things that you listed out that will happen inevitably if you don't work on your health. And it will help you to persevere and keep building that habit. And that is it. There's really not much more to getting into self-help as a beginner. Of course, if you want to get more into it, there's a lot more that you can do, a lot more psychology that you can read up on, a lot more tips and tricks that you can apply, and this channel is a very good place to start. I have made literally hundreds of videos about those topics, so make sure to subscribe and check out more of them. But for now, try to keep it simple. Stick to these very basic 2 steps that I have outlined here. First, identifying the problem in your life and then taking action. And that will already get you very far into your self-help journey. I hope you follow through. I hope you get the results that you're after. And please take a second and comment down below what it is that you're working on right now. And maybe I can make a follow-up video in order to cater to that. Until then, thank you so much for watching and talk to you next time.